G'day, and welcome back to Griffetts Garden. Welcome back indeed. It has been a little while, I can certainly appreciate that. So we've been pretty busy lately, that's for sure, and that's just how it goes. But I thought I'd keep you up to date with what's happening with a bit of a midweek walk around, because I'll be off again for another few days, probably by the time this video comes out. So if I don't get this done today, you're probably going to have to wait for another week, and I'm pretty sure that's not a good idea. But as busy as we've been, here's what I've picked this morning from around the garden. Run through some of these things first, and then we'll go around and have a bit of a look and a bit of a catch up where most of the things were at. So here we have the little variegated candy cane capsicums. Obviously you let them go red and they lose their variegation. The greener ones are still got all those stripes in it. So that's quite an interesting thing. These are little snacking capsicums, really quite tasty little morsels. They keep really well as well, so that's very handy to have. Big pile of beans here. They're going gangbusters over there still. It's the same patch from before, so there's some really nice beans in here. I've got plenty more to come as well. You can see the zucchinis down there. There's still, we'll have a look, but there's still a few coming out, a few not getting pollinated properly, but that's fine because you can still only eat so many zucchinis, right? And over here we have just one of the Blue Mountain tomatoes that I grabbed this morning, and that was, I'm not quite sure what you want to call that, pathetic, but a tomato nonetheless, probably go to the chickens. And a bucket load of cherry tomatoes. So these will be all red like this, probably within about maybe 4 or 5 days. The greener ones will take a little while, but as soon as they have a little bit of colour in them, they're fine. So that was the haul this morning, and now, as I said, if I can run you around the yard and show you where we're at with the rest of the fruit and veg, and where the lawnmower has not yet got to, then you'll get a bit of an idea of where we are. But as I said, by the time this video comes out, I'll probably be away, and it'll be maybe another week after that before it would come out. So just trying to keep you up to speed with where we are here at Griffetts Garden. So let's go for a walk. Right, so why don't we start over in this corner, shall we? Corn's looking pretty ordinary, isn't it? Well, the good news is it's all been picked. The bad news is I need to shred it, or put it through the muncher and get it into the compost. So still got plenty of juice left in it. It's just a job that needs to be done. And in fact, when that comes out, we're going to put brassicas in there, probably broccoli and what have you. We've got some down in the shade house down there that we've started from seeds. I haven't actually been down there to look at them for the last few days, so they could be quite interesting. Anyway, we've got a lot of corn off of this, really solid yield. There's a little one that's was nothing at the time, and well, you wouldn't complain with that, would you? Actually, it's been there without any water other than a good inch of rain for a few days. So I might put that one aside and take him inside. Now, just next to the corn is the chillies. Now, look at these things. They are absolutely going berserk, and you can see that they're starting to turn colour. There's one or two down here that have had a bit of damage, and that's sort of instigated the colour. There we go. But they're starting to turn. Now, I don't know if it comes up on the camera, but there's chilies everywhere in here. Maybe I need to come around from the other side to get the sun in the right angle. But they're literally everywhere. So very much looking forward to the cayenne chili, lots of chili oil and chili sauce. Alright, so now that we're over this way, we'll have a look at the KY1 tomato plant. And whilst there's still a lot of fruit in here left, it's probably not that big. You know, they're quite a small tomato now. Perhaps something a bit more supermarket style. Couple of big ones left, but yeah, this is probably a consequence of the rain. I'll get my shadow out of the way, might be a little bit easier, but the splitting of them. And they obviously need to be picked anyway, so I'm not sure these ones are going to get much bigger, which is a bit disappointing, but anyway, that was an interesting plant to grow. Probably wouldn't suggest we're going to grow it again, but you know, we've got a reasonable amount of fruit off of it, so I don't know, I guess it's up to every individual as to what you want to grow. We prefer the Blue Mountains and so on. So I'll spin around and we'll go and have a look down the back here. Okay, just behind me here is a potato patch, and yes, we've started to dig into it already. We have kept records of how many kilos of each that we've picked though, and we'll give all those numbers when we go through the whole patch, but I think it's something like maybe about 4 kilos of each variety at this point. Couple of reasons, but mainly why buy potatoes when you have them in the ground? So it looks pretty dead, and that's how I guess it should be, but we've definitely left these in here a lot longer than what we have done in the past. So I can see one here actually under this plant, and if I can bring you in here, you can probably make it out as well, right there. That one there's got a bit of green on it, this one here, and popping up everywhere. So this is the area that we dug out. In fact, I can see a few more in here. But these little things, not really worried about, but you don't have to go very far. Like I said, there's a couple there to find. There's a lot of little stuff. This is actually the King Edward, I think King Edward variety, to find potatoes. And I won't get too carried away because, as I said, we've picked a load already and we don't really need any more, but there's an interesting duck without a head. Interesting one. And lots of the little ones. So the little ones can also go to seed next year, used as seed. So there'll be a lot more of those dug up later on. Yeah, there's a lot under there. But that's for another day, I think, because they're just popping up everywhere. Yep, look at them. Everywhere I go, I'm digging them up. So I'll put those aside, but these guys, I'll make sure I cover these up. Yeah, little ones like this, there's no harm in using them as seed next year. Just leave them laying around. But we dug all these several kilos out of here, and should be none left in there, but there we go. That's a little update on the potatoes. And there's probably square metre, a little more that we've dug up. And these beds are around about 4 square metres. So maybe a little more. We should get close to, probably 40 kilos perhaps. in amongst all of this. Down this end, oh there we go, just immediately under the ground. Little, sure, but there's other ones in here that'll be a lot bigger than that, I would think. So let's sneak into the little hothouse, shade house. And here's the, I think this is all broccoli actually, seedlings. What is there, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, maybe a dozen reasonable ones in there. So they will go out soon. So we'll put the broccoli out where the corns come out of, or will be coming out of. But now let's check out these beans. This is where where I picked that load of them from this morning. So you can see here they look a bit upside down, but that's because I've been in there picking them. And so they're looking really quite nice and healthy. And you can see there's still tons of flowers on them. Young beans, loads of flowers still. We're leaving a few for seed for next year. So you just find some nice good sized ones and leave them behind. So yeah, that's yielded quite well, this patch. And of course the self-sown potatoes on the other side. So there's a couple of white flies flying around in there. Not overly concerned about that just yet. So that's definitely a happy patch of beans, that. Now for the zucchinis. These look a bit beaten in a, in a bad way, but I've been trimming leaves off them. So you've heard me talk before about cutting leaves away, getting air in there, getting rid of bad, I guess, bug-eaten leaves. And look at that, there's our little friend. Now, I've got a fantastic surprise for you at the end, so stick around. So let's have a look at these zucchini. And again, there's a little guy there. So you can see how I've strung them up, or tried to string them up. You just got to keep going as they keep pulling them up as they grow longer and longer and longer. And you can see how long these stems are. Starting down here, that's probably a foot to there, that's probably another foot to there, and well, it's approaching 2.5 feet, I suppose, out to the end. And you can see here, that's not pollinated, so that'll come off. I don't know what's going on here. It looks like a bit of cross-pollination with that different colour on it. This plant here is going okay. This plant here is heading off into the beans again, so I've got to keep wrestling them out of there. And the other one there is a pretty small one, but it's still going okay with fruit on down there. So that's probably, and over here we have some nice fruit as well. So that's probably the zucchini update, along with obviously a volunteer potato that was so jammed into the corner that it's had nowhere to grow its fruit except for up. So most of those will probably be no good, but we'll leave it there until the zucchinis and everything comes out and then see what's left. There goes the bees, which is always good. All right, this is a bit awkward in the light here, but hopefully you'll understand. We've talked about the blueberries here. I'm not sure if you can actually see them with the light, but yeah, okay, that's a little better. We've talked about the blueberries along here, and I want to do something along here. There is still plans to do that. It's just a matter of time. Rosemary's going berserk, as is the orange tree. Flowering, some nice flowers on here, whilst also having reasonable sort of fruit coming along. So that's going all right. This is another eggplant that we put in. We picked the one big one on here, so there is no little ones at the moment. But that is the longer variegated one. That likes it in there. Lettuce is largely going to seed or bolting, so that becomes chicken feed. Herbs are loving it. Thai basil, parsley, chives, thyme, oregano, more basil, and what looks to be a lot of coriander. Don't ever get concerned about dropping these things in your garden. That's your seeds for next year. That's coriander, that is. The raptors. I promised you a story on these things. That will definitely be coming in due course. Alright, so the pumpkin patch, now that we're out the side. Not quite sure what to make of this, to be honest. A little bit disappointing. I don't know why it lost all its leaves in the middle there. But you can make out 1, 2, 3, maybe not make out 3, but you can certainly make out a pumpkin over there. There's another one just here. Not huge. So I don't know what I didn't do right with these, but there's the pumpkins in there. Actually, there's another little one over there, but that'll never get to maturity just because of the weather. Now, when I talk about the weather, beautiful sunny day today, fantastic. Maybe high 20s, something like that. But the last, let's see, getting close to a week now, I suppose, mornings have been around about, I think the lowest was 4.6 degrees Celsius. So several days below 10 degrees Celsius. Now 4.5 degrees Celsius has got to be what, high 30s, maybe something like that, thereabouts in the F currency. So not that warm. And of course, plants that like warmth are obviously not going to do so well in those temperatures. What has been going well, and you would have seen it behind me, is the second lot of corn that we put in. Now, if you go back and have a look at one of the videos, my earlier videos, this is our attempt to save big box store corn from certain death. Now, this is, I'm 6, this is a foot off the ground. These are easily 6 feet tall, in general, not all of them. But they're getting close to filling out. Sorry about that, it was just a quite a load of large dogs go past, and you can probably hear the consequence behind us, and I just had to make sure our little fellow was all good. But yeah, these are probably, I don't know, at least another couple of weeks away before they'll be filled out properly. So what else have we got out here? Well, this is the trusty old destroyed cucumbers, but you might notice, if you have a close look, they're on their way back. Now, I'm not going to say they're going to make it back, but the fruit and the plants have found a solution. What is that solution? I'll tell you shortly. But that's a bit of a win. So you know my message about these things. Probably not keen on eating that. You know what? You peel it, it'll be perfectly fine. But those little guys in there absolutely devour these things. So never let your, I guess, fruit and veg that you don't want to eat yourself, never let it go to waste if you've got chickens, or a compost heap for that matter. So shortly, I'll tell you what's going on with this. Next up, let's have a quick look at the eggplant. Now these are, not overly happy with these, they're probably struggling. Well, no, they definitely are struggling. There's still small fruit on them. We'll give that a chance to fill out, mature. Around this side, there's another one. So there's probably half a dozen small fruit on here that we'll get something out of, but not too much left on them, I don't think. Now have a quick look under here. This is our leeks, that's what they are. So we just mounted these up the other day. So these are coming along quite nicely, and yes, we've had a bit of a net over them since we put them in, just because of what happened earlier, so with the garlic. So whether we need it now or not, I don't know, but you know, I guess got to put the net somewhere, so might as well stay here. Now I'm sorry about the dogs in the background, but of course they can hear me talking, and the other lot that walked past disturbing the neighbours' dogs here, so not a fan of that, to be honest. If you have a dog, please be considerate with two others with its noise. Of course, if you're not home, well, at least be aware. Anyway, what I really wanted to share with you today, apart from obviously showing you that I'm still alive, Griffetts Garden is still here, and where we're at with our weekend walk around. But right behind me here, we put a second lot of cucumbers in, and I'll jump in, have a bit of a look, but you can see that with the exception of a couple of areas, they're looking a lot better than that decimated lot behind us. So let's jump in and have a look. Now you can see some fruit down here. Get this leaf out of the way. Nice fruit there, there's some nice fruit in here. They are not far away from, well actually they probably are ready to pick. I would reckon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, close to 6 ready to pick. Now I'm going to train them up a stick as per the tomatoes, and as I did over there, continue to do that. But what you will notice is there's no bug damage. What's my secret? I was going to say comment down below, but by the time you watch this, you won't have time to comment. But anyway, see what you think. See if you've had the same success, and also whether or not it is going to help you after you've seen this. And that, my solution to this, and it took a lot of Googling to find out, I don't know why, it's pretty straightforward and should be easy to find, right? But I wanted to find an organic sort of a solution that didn't have long withholding periods or anything like that. It, you know, just was a fairly simple solution that did the job. Took a long time to find it. Most of the recommendations were just go out and squash them. You can do that for a while, right? But you can only do that for so long. So there's only so long you can squash your bugs for. But the solution for us was pyrethrum. Now, it's a pretty common product, I think. It's nothing fancy, it's nothing new. It's just, I'd never heard of it to come and get rid of the 28 spot lady beetle. It's pretty much a contact spray, and what I've read about it is it gets into the nervous system and basically, I don't know, I guess it paralyses them. And that's the end of that. And I sprayed that patch back there one afternoon and got a bit of rain, and then sprayed it again the following afternoon, and you can tell the result. It's absolutely amazing. That's the only applications that it's had. We will need to do it again though, just to make sure that things are kept under control, because there is still the odd one running around. Case in point, right here. All right, so he's going to get a squash, and that's that. Finally, we've saved the cucumbers. Saved them from certain death. So anyway, that's probably close to it for today. I can see my battery's about to die. So I hope you've had a really good past week or two. And I'll probably be able to catch you again in another similar time, I suppose, perhaps another a week or thereabouts. So just before we go, we'll go and give this to the chickens, and you can see how much they enjoy what a horrible looking cucumber is, but very, very tasty for them. So thanks so much for watching and coming back. and enjoying another weekend walk around Griffetts Garden. And we'll see you next time. Bye for now. All right, you little dinosaurs. What's this? A bit hard to snap this in half, but just bear with me. All right, that's all I've done, snapped it in half. Ready, guys? They know exactly what it is. Here's the other half. Not enough to go around, right? It's like tomatoes.